Friends, family, colleagues, classmates, and anyone else you come into contact with, even strangers, could be put in danger if you turn down the vaccine. It's not just a decision that affects you. It's okay to have questions about the COVID vaccine. That's normal. It's good to talk about them, though, with your doctor or community leaders or even friends and family you trust who have received the vaccine already. Vaccines have been tested rigorously and they've been found to be safe and to prevent people from developing symptoms and getting seriously ill with COVID-19. But now we're starting to see research which suggests that a vaccine can prevent people from spreading the virus too.
You're vaccinated and your friends and colleagues are vaccinated, that will substantially reduce the risk for everybody.
That makes sense. If you're not coughing or sneezing, then it's harder to pass the virus on. If we spread less COVID-19, fewer people get sick and the pandemic will be over sooner. So the current thinking is, if you choose to get the vaccine, you're choosing to look after yourself and everyone you come into contact with. If you don't, then you and those people won't have that protection. But scientists say they need to gather more data on this issue before we can be certain that vaccines reduce transmission. But even if it turns out to be true, if too many people don't get their shot, then that makes it easier for the virus to find a way to spread, meaning more people will get ill and die. And if it turns out the vaccine doesn't stop you from spreading the virus, then it's even more important that everyone gets their shots.
There is only one victor in a world where a vaccine haves and vaccine have-nots, the virus itself.
To prevent clinical disease, to prevent symptomatic disease, not necessarily to prevent infection. That's a secondary endpoint. But the primary thing you want to do is that if people get infected, prevent them from getting sick. And if you prevent them from getting sick, you will ultimately prevent them from getting seriously ill. So that's what we want to do. The first point, which we call a primary endpoint, is that if the vaccine also allows you to prevent initial infection, that would be great. But what I would settle for, and all of my colleagues would settle for, is the primary endpoint to prevent clinically recognizable disease.
Of course, and going to the point that you've made that the vaccine won't be the end of the story, definitely mitigation tactics will remain in place for some time.